there's a lot of times where I've like thought about that I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't good enough, and I think
what kept you going.
I think there's just been belief inside, and then you got to just give it a shot. Like what are you doing if you're not going to give it your all? And if you don't end up making it or being successful, then it wasn't meant to be.
It's playoff time, and we have a star center back for the Seattle Sounders who's competing for the Western Conference title against the LA Galaxy, Jackson Ragen. Jackson, welcome to the show. You're making your debut on Call It What You Want.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's an exciting debut.
So tell me what you're looking forward to in this Western Conference final, your first Western Conference final, right? And you've had some battles with the Galaxy. What are you expecting this time?
Expecting one of the best attacks in the league, and some of the best players. I think all across the front three and midfield, they're some of the best in the league, and just excited for the challenge. And I think the team's ready for it, and hopefully we come out with the win.
Talk about the win the other night. Look, you're playing an LAFC team that had your number, and we've all been in a place where some team just has you, right? Some team just figures you out, and then Jordan Morris turns around from the angle and the way he squeezes that thing in the near post. Just kind of talk about being on the road and what that dressing room was like after that match.
Yeah, it's always huge to get a playoff win on the road, but against LAFC, like you said, a team who's beat us a lot the last couple of years, and knocked us out of the playoffs last year. I think it meant more to everyone, like all the players, coaching staff. And yeah, I think just the team went into it with the mentality that like the pressure's on LA, like we have nothing to lose here. So just go play as a team and enjoy ourselves. And I think that really helped us, play together as a team and come out with the dub.
So Jackson, this is being taped on Thanksgiving. How does one celebrate Thanksgiving with these Seattle Sounders? Are you going to a teammate's house? Is it family? Like what are you going to be looking forward to doing on this day?
I would be at a friend's house with their family.
Okay.
They're taking me in for Thanksgiving, luckily. Yeah.
I remember literally 10 years ago to the day, we were in the Eastern Conference Finals playing the Red Bulls, which we won. Sorry, Tony. He was obviously connected to the Red Bulls. But I had at my house 5 of my teammates come to hang out and eat. So I'm surprised that the Sounders aren't doing like a big team thing, or getting multiple guys in one house.
We already see each other so much. We do a lot of like team dinners and stuff, which has been great for team chemistry and all that kind of stuff. But all the guys have families and stuff, and they're doing whatever they're doing. So, but yeah, it'll be nice.
You heard it here that they don't like seeing each other too much in Seattle. That's what I got out of it.
I'm gonna get in trouble now.
No, you're good, man. You're good. Talk about we got so much I want to talk to you about, because I've covered a bunch of your games this year and speak to Brian Schmetzer, and I always ask them to tell me about you. And he's always said, you know what, this is one of the most underrated players here in the league. Just talk about your growth over the last 2 years and where you think you've improved the most.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and I think I've had to improve a lot. I came from the USL and eventually won a starting spot here, and I've had to adjust and elevate my game. But I think just I've had to get a lot better at defending duels, just going up against most of the best players in MLS are attacking players. It's where they use a lot of the DP spots. So that's a big part where I've had to get better, but then also just, breaking or like line breaking passes is probably my strength. So just really turning that into a super strength. And yeah, I mean, I think I've had to just develop in all facets really over the last couple of years.
Hey, I remember the Jackson Ragen at Michigan. I called one of your games. Shaka Daly was he was a coach at Providence College when I was at Boston College. So I remember recruiting me and being involved in that process. So he spoke very highly of you. So I had my eye on you, and you obviously made it look very easy for yourself. You could read the game well. But if you were to tell the Jackson Ragen at Michigan where he is today, what would you say to yourself?
I wouldn't believe him. Honestly, I mean, I've always had faith in myself, but I guess I didn't get signed. I was in the academy at Sounders and didn't get signed out of high school, and then didn't get signed out of college, and then got drafted to Chicago, and then got cut, and then had to come back to Seattle and kind of work my way up. So it's been
what a story.
It's awesome.
There's a lot of times where I've like thought about that I wasn't going to make it. I wasn't good enough, and I think
what kept you going.
I think there's just been belief inside, and then I mean, you got to just give it a shot. Like what are you doing if you're not going to give it your all, and if you don't end up making it or being successful, then it wasn't meant to be.
Because there's a majority, at that time, Tony, that would just, throw in the towel because they just don't. Things haven't gone the way. I'm sure Chicago's kicking themselves now, Jackson. I can tell you that.
and Jackson, you got to have a manager, right, that believes in you. And you got to have assistant coaches that believe in you. Talk about Schmetz and I imagine he's put his arm around you a couple times. He's kicked you in the backside a couple times. He's had you in his office a couple times, and you're smiling, so I know that he's already had you in your office. But has there been a word, words of wisdom that stick with you? Like what's it been like, that relationship?
Yeah, it's been great. He's a mentor for me, and I think he's shown a lot of belief in me and helped me develop here. And like you said, all the assistant coaches have been great, but especially Andy Rose works with the defense. And I think he's given me a ton of confidence and always worked with me after training on little things. But I mean, you're right. I think I've been able to thrive here because of people believing in me and the coaches kind of seeing what I can maybe become, and helping me work on that by giving me confidence, but also talking to me on the side when they know I'm doing something wrong or there's something I can do better.
I just love the way that you're positioned, Jackson, right now. You're an MLS Defender of the Year finalist, right? This is someone who had been passed, right? You passed on, and someone who said, "Oh, you're not good enough." You believed in yourself. You kept working, and you found the right situation, and you found what you need to work on to continue to develop, right? And get the playing time necessary to develop. So along the way, have you had a teammate at the Seattle Sounders that has been important to you, that has been a good voice of reason, who has kind of given you that constructive criticism when needed, but also, can push you and give you that confidence?
I think there's a lot. And I think that's why a lot of young players do well here. It's because the leadership in the team is great. Like Stephen Fry, Christian Roldan, Jordan Morris, all those guys who have been here for a lot of years. They're super helpful. And I think Schmetzer challenges the leaders in the team to bring other people up with them. And then I think Yamar has been a big, I think we have a great relationship on the field, but also off the field. I think he's just a great dude and helped me out a lot.
It's incredible, right? Because you played 4 in the back for the most part. This past weekend, you play with 3 in the back, right? And here, what I've seen, I'm not telling you because you're here, and I want to get to some admissions in a little bit because we did do some predictions. But I've seen the last 2 years, I think I've done probably 12 to 15 games, Seattle games. Last year, I saw Yamar not holding you up, but covering you, right? I'm seeing the shift now, like. And not because one player is bad or one player is better, but I'm seeing you grow in this area where you're taking that responsibility. Do you feel that? Is that sort of where you're growing into right now in your mind?
I think maybe trying to take a little more ownership, but I think we just complement each other so well, and now playing together for 2 years straight, pretty much. I think he's so athletic, I can let him be more aggressive, and I can cover him. And then obviously when I step in, he can cover me. But yeah, he's such a good defender, and then I'm good with the ball and building out of the back. So I think that's why we complement each other so well.
How's your Spanish?
It's had to get better.
Okay.
No bueno.
Yeah, no bueno. Exactly.
So the LA Galaxy, right? They have the best home record in MLS, right? 13 wins, 1 loss, 3 draws. They're super dynamic in that front 3, but also Ricky Puig coming out of midfield, late runs out of midfield, can strike from distance. You faced him, but you just overcome LA FC with Giroud and Denny Bouanga and Bogusz, right? You've dealt with an attacking trio that's very formidable in MLS. How do you plan on stifling this LA Galaxy machine that is 15 goals in 3 games when you guys are so obviously defensively stout? But this is a whole nother challenge when you're talking about Western Conference Finals with everything on the line.
For sure, and yeah, it's gonna be a challenge. But also, I think I thought much different than LAFC because LAFC's a lot of transition. They don't need to have possession to be dangerous at all. And I thought Galaxy was like that, but watching that Minnesota game, they have so much pace, and if you let them in behind, they're so dangerous. So I think just controlling that and not letting them get into dangerous areas.
Of those 4 attacking players, who makes you the uneasiest?
I think Peck's been Gabriel Peck, right? I think he's looked really good. Cutting in on his left, 1v1 in space. But I think we'll have Nuhu or Jonathan Bell to deal with that, and I have full confidence in our defense to match up.
All right, so some admission time here. So I'm going to give you the good stuff first. Charlie mentioned you were a finalist for Defender of the Year. I voted for you for Defender of the Year. I had a vote. That's the good stuff. I also said, I may as well throw this in because I'm going to kill myself after with this. I also said that January camp, I thought that you would be called in the Pochettino's camp based on your performance this year. With that said, I'm buttering you up because they make us do this weird thing here and give predictions for the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. And I told Charlie asked me, I said, my theory has always been defense wins championships. That's what my whole life was built around. And I picked the LA Galaxy in the Western Conference Finals. So hopefully I buttered you up enough earlier to let you know. These are all truths, by the way. Why will we be wrong in your mind that Seattle will go through?
I think it's the same as LAFC. Everyone thought they were going to win, and I think we're embracing that underdog mentality. And I have faith in our defense, even though they're the best attack in the league. And then I think Jordan and Albert and our attacking players are going to get a couple on the board to give the defense a little room for error, a little cushion.
Okay, I like that.
Well, do you want to tell them who you picked or no? Just me. I'm only going to tell them. Okay,
No. I was going to do it. Jeez,
No, you
I
weren't.
was a striker. I'm all about goals. I also picked LA Galaxy, but I do want to preface this. LAFC was very shaky to me. And I said, with Schmetzer and this Sounders team who have come alive, and it's all about that rhythm coming into the playoffs, and Seattle knows it better than anyone, and Schmetzer knows it better than anyone. You can have a slow start. It's not about the slow start. You can have a rough middle of the season, that rough patch, but it's end of August all the way through, picking up momentum and coming into the playoffs hot. Seattle Sounders does it better than anyone that's ever done it. Like that's their blueprint. And sometimes everyone's like, oh, well, it's not going to happen this year. And it happens every single season. So I want to give you guys credit because you guys absolutely deserve credit and you have a lot of talent and quality. But I just feel that there's so many weapons with this Galaxy side. As good as LAFC are, they're very predictable. And they're very shaky because Olivier Giroud, as good as he is, doesn't fit that style. So they were still trying to figure things out at this stage of the season where you guys, you know exactly who the hell you are. You have an identity, and you guys are thriving. So now you're playing against a team that knows who they are. They're thriving. And whether it's Paintsel or it's Peck or it's Jovic or it's Ricky Puig, there's just so many weapons that I think it might be a little too much, at least especially playing away from Seattle. But I'm looking forward to the match. So I wanted to give you that credit, okay? In talking about the U.S. men's national team, right? Because it feels like the center back position, it's not the deepest with the U.S. And obviously you're 26 years old. You're coming into your prime, and you're a late bloomer in that respect as well. So you probably have a little bit more room to grow than someone else that would be 26 at this stage of their career. So you're finally getting to that sweet spot. Are you dreaming now? Because you are an MLS finalist for Defender of the Year. Has it hit you yet that this is a real opportunity? You were on the verge of maybe hanging them up or thinking about, do I still want to play this game? And here you are on the verge of potentially getting U.S. men's national team call up. Have you thought about that and what that could do for your career?
Yeah, it's amazing, and it is hard to really realize. I mean, I would have to pinch myself if I got a debut with the team, but I mean that's always been a dream of mine, and it would be amazing to get an opportunity. I was in the last January camp and picked up kind of a bizarre injury, or like re-injury. So I'm hoping that I'll have a chance to get back there, and I know the only way to do that is to perform at the club level. So I'm just focusing on that and trying to win a championship right now.
Yeah, obviously you're focused on the next couple of weeks, and that's understandable. But I do want to ask you, when you watch national team games like we all do, and you make your own evaluations, and what area for you has to improve in your eyes to take that next step?
For me?
Yeah.
I think just being super solid defensively. I think I've had a few too many just errors for my liking, and so just cutting those out. And it's kind of just like things that are hard to explain. Maybe just like a lapse of concentration or focus for a quick second, and so I think just really cleaning that up would go a long way.
Well, Jackson, I want to congratulate you on all the success that you've had. It's been incredible to see you thrive, especially knowing your story now in full depth. Right now, typically we have a live show, so the YouTube comments are flying, and we're always responding. People are trying to trigger us. I wish we got to have you on for a live show so you can see what we're exposed to every show. Yeah. But I appreciate you. Wish you all the best, and thank you for joining us. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
Good luck, Jackson. Yeah, all the best.